Hey, good morning, Jill here. In 2020, uh, during the quarantining, I had a lot extra time and put together my sketches of the Bible. And I've done 15 or 16 books and working on Jonah right now. And my Bible study, BSF, right now is on Kings and the Old Testament, minor prophets. So I'm going to just read the New Testament. Hopefully, it helps somebody. And I used to teach ESL, so I'm very visual, trying to explain things. I'm not a Bible scholar, but it's always good to read the Bible. There's always something new going on. It's active and alive, living word. So my teenager, started me on YouTube again in 2020, and I've enjoyed reading. It's important to read the word. And I've also thrown in some videos of I Love Lucy. I grew up on I Love Lucy and Love Boat. I used to teach ESL, English. So I like to learn from the old shows. They have a lot of dialogue and creative stories. And also I like wildlife and nature and traveling. So I've thrown some of those videos in as well. So anyways, I'll read Paul's sketchbook. This is like my little 5-minute quiet time I try to have every day. Thanks for joining me. Let's read Romans 1:1. So these are letters Paul sent while he was on his adventures in Acts. So I just read Luke and Acts. Not the best work that I've done, but the important thing is the idea of getting the Bible out, get the word out. I was thinking of J. Vernon McGee, and he said, if you want revival, educate people, read, get in the word. So this is Romans 1:1, Paul, set apart for the gospel of God. Your faith is, Romans 1:8, your faith is spoken of throughout the world. Whole world speaks about your faith. Romans 1:16, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God to everyone who believes, first to the Jews, then to the Gentiles. So no shame about the gospel. It's the power of God, first to the Jews, the chosen people, then to the Greeks. And so this is mostly coming from the Jewish culture. Jesus was Jewish, Paul was Jewish, and in Israel, where a lot of it started, the Jewish nation. Romans 1:17. Let me get my pen. The just shall live by faith. Faith, faith, faith. The just shall live by faith. Romans 1:20. For since the beginning of the world, his invisible attributes are clearly seen, so they are clearly without excuse. So, people say, I don't believe in God. I don't see him. He didn't heal me. I'm sick. Life is miserable. But since Paul says, since the beginning of the world, the invisible attributes are clearly seen. His invisible attributes are clearly seen. That's interesting. Invisible attributes are clearly seen. So they are clearly without excuse. So we can still see God. Even though we don't see God, we see his creation, the nature, the way he works in people's lives. Just a beauty. I like that I can move my hand, and that's a miracle. So we can still see his invisible attributes, so that we are out without excuse. We should see the world and know that God is there. And their foolish hearts were darkened. So we want a light heart. We want a clean heart. Their foolish hearts were darkened. Have a wise heart, not a foolish heart, right? Next page, Romans 1:22. Professing to be wise, they became fools. Professing to be wise. I'm wise. They're actually a fool. So everyone is born into sin. We're all sinners saved by grace. There's a rich guy who just stole a lot of money into cybersecurity, Everybody gets into trouble, whether you're rich or poor, educated, non-educated. We're all the same. Professing to be wise, they became fools. They exchanged the truth about God for a lie. Here, I'm going to take a lie and give you the truth about God. They exchanged the truth about God for a lie, and worshipped and served created things rather than the Creator. That makes me think of a piano. Somebody said, you listen to the music and you look at the keys and the piano moving, but you don't see who's playing the piano. So some people worship created things, and I do this too. Worship created things and served created things rather than the Creator. So we want to look to God and not to the creation. Well, and not worship Him. Okay, let's do one more. Romans 2:21. You therefore who teach one another, do not teach yourself. You who preach that a man should not steal, do you steal? You who say, do not commit adultery, do you commit adultery? You who abhor or don't like idols, do you rob temples? You who make your boast in the law, do you dishonor God through breaking the law? So don't be a hypocrite. Do not steal. If you say, don't steal, do you yourself steal? If you say, do not commit adultery, that's a man having a girlfriend, even if he's married, or a woman who's married having a boyfriend. If you say, don't commit adultery, do you commit adultery? Break your marriage vows. If you say, I hate idols, this is like a little, you can put a little idol there. It's like a little temple. Do you rob temples? If you say I don't like idols, do you rob temples? Do you dishonor God through breaking the law? I do all these things, boast in the law, but yet break it, which we all do. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow. And thanks for joining me in this adventure journey with studying Paul. Have a good, blessed day.